Hey everybody, welcome into the Good Buddies Anime Podcast. I'm your good buddy Roger.
I'm your good buddy Brandon.
And we are through Devilman Crybaby, and we're on to that new anime.
Made in Abyss.
And it's very good so far.
It's adorable, I love it.
We watched the first 4 episodes.
I'm so scared it's going to make me sad, but it's so cute.
It probably is going to get pretty grim.
Like, I feel we'll definitely touch on this.
You got 2 kids venturing into a giant pit, but
from which returning means death.
Yeah.
Like, shit, dude, this is not going to be good. It's going to bum me out.
But I really like it. I really like the art style of it. It's not your stereotypical anime art style. Like it's got its own unique little thing.
Mm-hmm.
I would say there are inspirations there. It's very Ghibli-esque.
Yeah. I think we were talking before we started how it kind of reminded us of a couple video games.
Yeah, Final Fantasy or Star Ocean.
Star Ocean, yeah, it's good.
Yeah. The art style is very cool, and the gear and stuff they wear too is all really cool.
It's all very well drawn. And that first episode in particular, I loved how it didn't open like with an opening. It didn't even have it didn't even have an ending theme or nothing. It just like started. It felt like watching a movie. It was very well done. It was very cinematic. I loved it.
Yeah, so far I really like the color also. I would like to mention the color in this anime is very good.
Let's talk about them colors.
And the creatures.
Those creatures are rad.
There's a lot of really cool stuff in here, but let's go ahead and break right on into it.
Are you saying we're about to break it down?
Break it down. Bang, 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 bang.
All right.
We got episode 1 of Made in Abyss, the City of the Great Pit.
So cool.
Yes,
so cool. Hot.
So right off the bat, there's a great pit and there's also a city.
You know what?
Podcast over.
That's good use of context clues, my dude.
Yep.
But yeah, man, I'm loving it. It just opens right up. We got these 2 little kids who we quickly find are named Nat is the little young man, and Rico is the young blonde girl with her adorable little glasses, looking like a little explorer, look like a couple little ice climbers gonna go on an expedition.
Her, man, I like her a lot.
I like both. I like all the characters in this show.
So far, every character I've seen, I've really liked.
I really enjoy them. Even the ones that have like 2 minutes of screen time, they're super cool. Yeah, I'm super into it. But they're doing some exploring, and they're looking for some relics, and we don't know what all that means yet, but we gonna find out. But yeah, you find, particularly if you watch the fucking Netflix blurb, you know that they're in this, they're searching through this pit, and they're trying to find relics and
not
stuff.
Netflix,
and that's how they get.
It's on
not
Amazon
Netflix.
Prime Video.
Right. Jesus, start over. I fucked up already.
You really want to start?
No, not really. Cut out where I said fuck, though. Fuck, I did it again. Fuck. All right.
All that's going in.
Damn it. You suck. But yeah, man, we got these adorable kids. They're kind of
fucking up again.
That hurts. All right.
I'm gonna sing a little more songs this time.
So anyway, these 2 adorable children who don't say fuck.
Yeah, they do not. They do not hesitate to look at each other's penises and ding dongs.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Jesus. All right. Just hearing that description sounds bad.
It does.
Sounds bad.
It does.
All right. The point is, you got these kids. They're exploring. They split up. Rico is like super into finding this stuff. Artifacts and whatnot and relics, and she's so into it, man. That's all she wants to do. She wants to be the very best, like no one ever was. And she's finding stuff. She comes across a skeleton in a praying position.
Okay, yeah,
which was terrifying.
Yep.
Oh, good God.
So that is mentioned again later, and I guess we'll go over it then. But yeah,
it's apparently not too uncommon.
Yeah. And they're all found praying.
They're all found in this weird praying position, and apparently they've been there for a couple thousand years.
2,000 years is what they say.
But so she goes off. She finds so much cool stuff. She's got all the relics. Her backpack's so heavy because she's so good at what she do.
Yep.
She's going back, gonna find Nat. Nat apparently has fallen. Looks like he's like bleeding from his head, like he's been knocked out or something.
Yeah.
It was a weird, I was like, whoa. Because like at first she's like looking for him. She sees him up on this little, like maybe on a little tiny cliff thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, he looks like he's just taking a nap. And then she's like, oh no, he's bleeding from the head. Did he fall? Yep. Jesus. And then.
Right there. Crimson Split Jaw.
Crimson Split Jaw.
Your first really good look at one of the neat creatures in this
super
anime.
Badass creature thing just floats on over to him and eats his bag of relics and then goes for him, but she uses her whistle, tweet, She's got a little red whistle to tweet up a storm and get that thing coming after her. Which it does. And she takes the hell off. Loses a bunch of her relics in the process. Real bummer. But she ends up like falling down a hole. She's going through these chasms. This thing's chasing her. And she's, it's gonna eat her. It's just about to. And then apparently Master Chief whips out his Spartan laser and blasts this thing.
I'm charging the lasers.
Yeah, dude. All right.
So, and you can't see where the laser comes from.
No, you just see this crazy light.
Yeah.
And it blasts this thing, and it doesn't seem to do a whole lot of damage to it, but it like scares it off and it flies away. And then she follows the trail of this beam, which has cut through like the petrified trees and stuff. It's that strong, and finds a little dude.
Yeah, a little guy. He's a very strange looking guy. He looks like a little robot boy.
Well, he looks like a little boy with metal arms.
Yep.
But she quickly deduces, he's not breathing. Does he need mouth to mouth? No, wait. He's like some kind of synthetic skin. What's going on? He's a robot.
Yep.
She found a Mega Man.
Yep.
And it's like super great. And then she manages to like get him. She finds Nat. Nat's like back awake. And that's when you get the little intro song, and you see a little bit of an intro. And it feels like I said, it feels like a movie. It felt like a really cool cold open.
Yeah.
Like it's super great. And I'm loving it so far. So they end up like traveling back to their home, which we find out pretty soon is some kind of orphanage.
Yeah, the Belchero orphanage.
Belchero. It sounds sexy.
Mm-hmm.
And they meet up with my favorite name of anyone in the show, their buddy, Shiggy. Shiggy is so cool because he's got a cool name. I just wrote down Shiggy. Nice.
Yeah, he's a little dork.
He's super cool.
Yeah,
you love the little dork character.
Yeah.
That's the one you want to hang out with. Everybody loved the Blue Ranger. But yeah, they talk to Shiggy for a bit. They got to sneak back in because like did they call it the director? I think.
Yeah, I think so. There's the leader and then the director.
The director being this older, clearly woman who seems very, very stern.
Yes, she seems really strict. She
real,
seems like,
real trench bomb type.
Yeah, like maybe a female police officer.
Yeah, maybe. She's like very strict. She wears all black. She's got this awesome like black and white hair. She looks super cool, but also like she would just slap your knuckles so hard with a ruler if you fucked up.
Yeah.
I said fuck again. Sorry.
It's
just gonna keep happening.
It's all right, buddy. Our podcast is already marked as explicit.
We're explicit.
So.
We're explicit as hell. I mean, we sealed that with that first show.
And I mean,
we went
if
over.
the kids are watching, the kids are watching. Okay.
Yeah, they're just that cool. It's fine. They're just super cool. That's how you know they're cool. They say fuck. So yeah, they managed to sneak in with the help of Shiggy and the little bitty baby who we find, who's named Kiwi. I think that was his name.
Yeah, Kiwi.
His kid's adorable. He's like a little baby. Like he's clearly much younger than them. He's reading on the veranda, and he drops his book, and that distracts the director lady long enough for him to sneak in.
He's probably like 3.
Yeah, we find out
he's
that
old enough to understand.
We find out later that Rico is 12. Presumably, everyone else is about the same age since they're the same height, roughly, and they're the same level in this class system that this whole thing runs on. So they're all roughly 11, 12, 13, we'd assume. Meanwhile, Kiwi is like a little bitty baby. He's adorable. Go goo goo. And they get inside, and we get a brief scene where they actually you see them in a classroom. They're all sitting at desks. The desks which are built into the wall.
Yeah.
What's that about?
It's like a big bunk bed classroom.
Is it like...
It's pretty cool, man. All the little sets and designs they made for this anime is really neat.
It is adorable. It's very cool. It's very neat scenes and whatnot. Why are there desks on the wall? It seems dangerous. I mean, they're already climbing and crap, I guess, but still, it's like, all right.
It just seems fitting, I would say.
Sure.
They drew it because it was fitting, and
this classroom is like...
They're like,
maybe,
you know what? That guy's going to like it.
Like, facing the front where the teacher would stand in this classroom / lecture hall, maybe. Mm-hmm. It's like maybe about the width, like if you were sitting in the front row, it's like about as long a room as you'd think. But then it's only like a few feet wide, and they're all just on this wall going straight up.
Yep.
It's pretty weird. I really do like it though. It's all quirky and cute, and I am into it. It's just odd. They mention that this is definitely an orphanage. They mention the name of the orphanage, I think.
Belchero.
Belchero, yes, sounds sexy. And they mention that one of them, I think the director actually says something about making your parents who fell so nobly proud. So we can assume these are all children of,
Their parents are either still in the cave or they are dead.
Yeah. What do they call the people who go into the pit? I forget. It's not like raiders.
Cave raiders.
Cave raiders. It is cave raiders. Yeah, man. It's super great. So, and also a few times as they're getting in there, like as they're trying to sneak in, one of the kids they mentioned something like, "Oh man, getting caught and you get caught like with stealing relics or whatever, and it's gonna be way worse than getting strung up naked." You get strung up naked? Yep. That's how they punish the kids. Apparently, the director actually mentions, "Anyone found hiding relics will be strung up naked." I'm like, they really string them up naked?
Yep.
Jeebus.
And it turns out they really do string them up naked.
We see that in episode 2. This kid gets strung up naked. I mean, you don't see anything. Thank God.
Thank goodness.
You had to throw that one in.
Yeah.
So we don't seem too weird. No, I mean, it's a cute show. Weird crap is going on. Speaking of which, after that scene where we meet the leader, who's a slightly older than the kids who we've met, but younger than the director. He's like probably in his 20s.
He's a senpai.
Yeah, he's got to be like 23, 22, somewhere in there. We meet them, and then we get a scene. We cut back to Rico and the boys trying to wake up this robot. And we see it like from the little robot boy's point of view. They apparently have him hooked up to a damn car battery.
Yeah.
like he's in a damn Stallone movie or something, just like shocking him.
Yeah, they sneak him in. They're trying to wake him up, get him to.
Yeah, it seems like they hit him with like a level 1 charge or something, and he like you see him like actually from his eye. You see from his perspective, his eyes open. He's like, "Hey, these kids. I'm going back to bed." They're like, "Let's try it on level 2." And then right before they hit, it's like, "Wait, that's level 20." Brrr, and just destroy his head. They got like diodes hooked up to this kid and they just shock the crap out of him. But he's awake. He sure as hell awake now.
Yeah. He woke up in a hurry.
Woke up in a real hurry. And he's looking around the room. And here's the thing. So then he looks around the room and he's like, "Where am I?" While Rico's asking a billion questions because she's so fascinated by this robot boy. But he's like, "Where am I exactly?" And they're like, "Oh, you're in Rico's room in the orphanage and blah, blah, blah." And he looks around and there's like hooks and knives and crap on the wall. And he's like, "You torture people?" He's like, "Oh no, this was an execution chamber that they made into Rico's room because she's always, so naughty, they put her here." And I'm like, all right, what's going on? Why does this place have an execution chamber?
Yeah.
What was it before it was an orphanage, or was that part of the orphanage? What's with the skeletons? This show is already, it's like you're seeing everything as these kids would. It's like, oh, this is interesting. Oh, I've never seen that before. How neat and weird. But I'm looking at it like, this is already dark.
Yeah.
And I'm scared.
Yeah. But it's good because it gets you thinking.
It does get you thinking.
You hope
I'm
that some of these questions are going to be answered. And I'm not sure that they will in the direction they go, but you never know.
I don't know, man. It's freaky deaky.
It really builds a world, though. Like it feels like there's an existing world there, and I think that's really cool.
Yes.
And they did a really good job of that.
Yeah, very much so. So we get a little bit more experience with Reg, who we find out, who gets his name in a minute.
Are you saying Reg or Reg?
I'm saying Reg.
Reg.
But Regu. All right. But so basically all the kids like run off for a little bit because they got called or something. They have to go out. And Reg's in the room by himself. We get a short scene where he's like, he doesn't seem to know he's a robot. He's just like, "Oh, I'm just some kid." And then he's like, "Man, I'm a robot." And he like looks in his pants. "I got a wiener." This is the first of many references to the robot boy's wiener.
Yeah. He's got the weenie.
What a fun show.
Yeah.
But yeah,
all these kids and them weenies.
All these kids. So Rico comes back. She hides him. The leader comes in, the slightly older kid, younger than the director kid, and he's like, "What's going on in here?" And he pulls the cover off of where Reg was, and there's nothing there. Reg, we find out in that moment, has these sweet bender electrode, like just extendo arms.
Yeah, he's got the Inspector Gadget thing going.
These sweet grappling hooks, like he's the dude from Just Cause or something, and he's just hanging from the ceiling, just reels himself on up to hide. It's pretty great, man. This Reg character is awesome. But yeah, she names him Reg after once they're alone again. Says that he's like, why Reg? He's like, well, I had a dog named Reg. Okay, that's neat.
Yeah, he's dead.
But yeah, then we're getting toward the end of the episode. She takes him out, like,
they take him outside to see Orth.
Yeah, to see the city, like
Which
at dawn.
Town, yeah.
She takes him out at dawn to see this whole city as dawn is breaking, and this is a beautiful scene. Like these very densely packed buildings. They're all very, very detailed, beautifully drawn. This world, and you see like the sunlight cascade over it, like, and the shadows slowly die amidst the blinding light of the sun. Yeah, it's beautiful.
The production value in this anime is very good.
It's really great. And then she gives a short little story of it. Like, this is the city of Orth. It surrounds all these densely packed buildings and houses and whatnot surround this huge pit that's like, what was it, 10,000 meters wide, something like that.
Yeah,
it's huge. This huge just hole in the ground, which is on this island in the middle of the, I think it's Beluska Sea, Beluska, something like that, is what they call the Sea of Beluska. Mm-hmm. And like they call the pit the Abyss, and it's awesome. And that's where this episode ends, basically. They just check it out, and Reg's like, whoa, I'm a robot. And it's super great. You get some cool, like, music stings. The music in this show is awesome.
Yeah, you really get to see, like this episode does a good job at just setting the atmosphere.
It's really great, man. I'm really, like, one episode in, I'm into it. I want to see what happens next.
I watched
it's really
one
great.
episode trying to figure out what we're going to watch next.
This is what we landed on.
Yeah, and this is what we landed on. Because I was really taken by the art style in this first episode. And overall, just the way that everything is kind of done in this anime. The characters are all really good. There's no annoying characters thus far.
Mm-hmm. Are you nervous about the bunny girl that keeps showing up?
No, I'm super
I can't wait to run into her. She's gonna be great. The bunny character,
the Viera, dude. There's another Final Fantasy character right there.
All right.
You ever play Final Fantasy 12?
I love Final Fantasy 12.
You ever seen Fran?
I love Fran.
She's like a little Fran, dude.
I love Fran and all her sisters and other bunny friends. Mm-hmm. It's really great. It's really, really great.
There's some good looking bunnies right there.
All right. It's a great show. Balthier was cool. He had that gold vest and his raver jewelry. Anyway, this isn't the Final Fantasy 12 podcast. Let's go on to episode 2. What's it called, Roger?
Resurrection Festival.
Resurrection Festival. So this is a pretty great one. First of all, Resurrection Festival got me a little scared because who died?
Yeah.
And why are they coming back? But it's pretty great. It opens with a bit where Rico is talking about this star compass she has, which they mentioned in the first episode briefly. It's a relic that she hung on to. Oh, you're not supposed to do that. You're going to get in trouble. But she does it anyway.
They also mentioned plenty of times that she gets herself into a lot of trouble.
Yeah, she clearly don't care.
She don't give no dang.
And she's mentioned, I think she even mentioned in that first episode that, her whole goal is to become a white whistle, which you find out in this episode what that means exactly. Yeah. She wants to be a white whistle like her mother, but you don't get much more information than that. So this one starts with her talking about this star compass, a mysterious compass. It's like this cool little ball. It looks like a wonder ball, if you remember those, with like this thing floating in it that's just pointing straight up. But is it pointing up or is it pointing down? Like, which end of it is doing the pointing? And that's what she's asked.
And
she
no
asked
matter
the question.
How you move it,
it always points that way. It's always pointing down, she says now. It's really great. And then we finally get to see the actual opening of the show, which is really cool. A lot of cool scenes, a lot of cool colors. You get a couple shots of what appears to be the underground.
For the opening and closing too.
Oh yeah, it's all very good.
Awesome.
It's very, very good. But yeah, we get our opening there, and then we get a brief description of this mysterious sickness, the Curse of the Abyss.
The Curse of the Abyss.
Which goes like this. There are several layers. If you go to the Curse of the Abyss appears to be like coming up is what messes you up. It's kind of like if you dive too deep and you come up too fast, you get the bends or whatever, and you start puking up pink crap.
Yep.
That's bad time. You can die from that very easily.
What it's when you have like too much carbon dioxide in your bloodstream.
Yeah, it's like the pressurization and stuff. It's pretty wild. Good.
Can kill you.
Good way to die. Not a good way to die. Horrible way to die. Just don't do it. Good way to get killed. But so the sickness starts like this. First layer, if you come up, then you might get some mild dizziness, whatnot. Second layer, going down and coming back up, you got nausea, headache, numbness in the extremities. Fourth layer, they skip over third, apparently maybe the same as second or third, fourth. But the fourth layer, you'll get some intense pain, some bleeding.
Bleeding from the eyes.
Bleeding from the eyes, the little picture is, it's pretty rough. And then going down to the sixth layer and coming back, they say, quote, loss of humanity or death is possible. Now, loss of humanity I thought was an interesting one, and they mentioned later, we'll get to that, but they mentioned something called a hollow, capital H hollow, which maybe you maybe you lose all mental capacity and whatever. That sounds like a loss of humanity to me.
Not came across a hollow yet.
Yeah, that's something that we see later. But yeah, pretty wild stuff. These first few episodes have a lot of exposition, which I'm very thankful for, but man, it makes for some long notes in my little book here.
Yeah.
So here comes another great scene where we talk about the robot boy's anatomy. So apparently while he was passed out before they woke him up, Rico was doing some research, as you do, on the robot. She talks about how his skin is made of this interesting material that is very resistant to damage. It doesn't and his arms, while they're made of metal, it's this very weird flexible metal, and it even broke a couple drills. His hair and skin are both resistant to fire. Yep. He's like, fire, drill, what were you doing to me? Jesus. He's
trying to sleep.
He's slowly getting more and more freaked out by what he hears, and then comes this great line. I couldn't see inside his butthole.
Yeah, and his eyes are huge at this point. They draw him up real big.
It's like, Jesus, I guess...
They do the emotion on his face perfectly.
They do it very good. Like, he's consistently getting more and more freaked out. He's like, ah!
His belly button seems normal, but I could not see inside his butthole.
That's the line.
Yeah.
She went full doctor on this one. She couldn't tell how deep it was. Broke a measuring stick inside of him. Also, his penis is fairly normal. Like, whoa.
Yeah, his penis appears to be a normal human. Penis.
It's like we keep talking about. Talking about this robot boy's butt and his wiener.
This robot boy is a heavy sleeper. Okay, because I guarantee you, man, it doesn't matter if I'm awake or if I'm asleep. Somebody gets around the weenie. Okay, the weenie senses are going off. I'm flying out of bed.
Oh my God.
Stranger danger. Get away from my weenie.
I mean, fair enough. Absolutely true. I'm with you there. But see, that's the thing is that she mentions also that he can apparently run off food or electricity.
Yep.
So we know that they shocked him. They apparently shocked him at level 1. And that's when we get the kind of, I'm going back to sleep. Like he was kind of awake. So one can assume that before that he was maybe he was completely devoid of energy. So it makes sense that he would be basically a lifeless doll at that point.
Yeah.
At which point she apparently had her way with him.
Yeah.
And then we find out from there I would assume that maybe.
Well, I don't think they have to electrocute him to wake him up.
Well, they definitely do though. Like that's the thing. Like we don't know that they don't, but after that big laser blast, maybe he was out of energy and was just like little more than a mannequin.
Yeah.
And then shocking him got some power in him. That's why he woke up. Because they hit him level 1. After they hit him with level 1, we find out is when he was kind of drowsy. And then when they hit him level 20, dude's awake. Yeah. Dude's all the way woke.
So maybe it's like there's a battery cell in there or whatever, and he can sleep and wake up normally with the charge.
Assuming he doesn't run out of power.
Yeah, because there is a scene later on where in a later episode, I won't go too far into it, but
he's asleep
and
he wakes up quite quickly because he was on like high alert mode at that point. But so
interesting though. It's an interesting thought. I didn't look at it that way.
That's definitely how I'm thinking of it. Like that laser, if anything's gonna drain,
charging the lasers.
He definitely fired his laser. But if anything's gonna drain your energy down to 0, it's a laser capable of shooting through several petrified trees and a cliffside and nailing this freaking red. What was it called? Red Snapjaw? Something like that. Split jaw. Crimson split jaw. That was a cool thing.
So they looked at his weenie.
The other kids,
ruler in his butthole.
The other kids who were there, Nat and
Shiggy.
One of them, I think Nat mentions don't worry, man, I got the ruler out.
Yeah,
it's like, oh God.
Yeah, they were like, we tried to
stop her. Yeah.
We got the ruler out.
She's a little explorer. She was exploring your cave.
Yeah.
Oh no, she
raided the cave, dude.
That's terrible.
She
God.
raided his cave.
This
man.
freaking show. All right. So now they decide, well, we got to get this kid's got to be with us. He's got to be one of us, this little robot boy. He looks to be their age, even though he's a robot. Mm-hmm. So they basically decide we got to get him into the orphanage. He has to become a cave raider with us. He's got to be with us. So I wrote down the con is on. They got him to dress up, kinda, take that crazy helmet he's got off. Yeah. Can't really cover up those metal arms, but they put him in like some rags and whatnot and have him approach the they're watching from a bush while he approaches the orphanage and talks to Leader and explains, oh yeah, well, I'm from a foreign country and I was living with my sister in the slums and I was a rag picker, I think is what they call them.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a cave raider, but you're picking rags. Yep. You're just going through everyone else's trash basically, and blah blah blah. And Leader's like, all right, well, what's up with those arms? Oh, foreign technology.
I have amnesia. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember anything. I think I was injured or something. And he's like, well, can you make a fist? And he does with his little metal hand. He's like, oh, you got a good grip. All right, you're in, kid. And he says, all right, well, come on in. And they set him up. They give him a room and everything. He apparently ends up staying with Rico most of the time, though. We get some shots of them like, sharing a bed. Yeah. And we go into a brief montage. We got some
young co-ed living there.
Yeah, it feels weird when you say it. I don't know if you've ever seen my good buddy Roger. Weird, I don't know if you've ever seen my good buddy Roger in real life, but he looks like he does stuff to kids.
Wow, dude. Wow.
I mean,
I do not look like that.
You don't. No,
give me a break, dude.
I'm giving you a break.
That is some bullshit, dude.
You don't. I mean,
I look like a perfectly normal human being. I do not look like I go out diddling kids.
You don't look like you diddle kids. I will say that if you were at the grocery store and there was a couple there and they had a kid with them, if you said, "Hey, cute kid," they would get him away from you.
Yeah, because they're awful people. If you were to do something like that, you're an awful person, and I don't want you on my podcast.
Well, what are you doing here, man? Oh, God.
Surely, Brandon, you would not be that kind of person.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Surely, you would not be that kind of person.
Anyway, so we get this great little montage of scenes of Rico, like, getting into trouble, showing Reg how to do stuff,
I've raised children, mind you. I've helped raise children.
I've moved on, sir. I have moved on.
Fine, keep going.
All right.
I'm just going to sulk over here.
Anyway, we get this great little montage of like Rico getting into trouble. We actually do see her get strung up naked. Lord have mercy. Yep. With the director lady like standing in the background like,
maybe you should question her diddling kids.
I was going to say we could cut all that out, but if you keep bringing it up, it's going to be kind of hard to. Anyway. So then we get a scene where Rico's looking through like a telescope at some birds, and as soon as I saw, it's a little bird, and it's like mama bird. It's what do they call them? Hammerbeaks, I think is what they call them. They mentioned them in episode 1 too.
Hammerbeak or Hammerbill? It's Hammerbeak.
I think it's Hammerbeak. Yeah. We see like what appears to be a mama Hammerbeak bringing some little food to her baby Hammerbeaks, and as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, that bird gonna get ate, and it does. It gets snatched up by some kind of big dragon-looking thing.
Yeah, she didn't know the name of it.
Yeah, she doesn't even name it. It's like apparently from deeper in the pit. Apparently, these beasts and monsters and whatnot kind of fly up from the pit.
Yeah, I think it's like find them some or something. And you'll
it's from deeper. Layers. It's from a bit deeper down. But we realize that then she's in the shop of Aunt Laffy is what her name is. It's been apparently 2 months since that last bit, and Uncle Habbo is coming on home from his Habbo hotel. Somebody's gonna get that reference. But yeah, he's apparently a black whistle.
Yeah, he wants to become a white whistle.
Wants to be a white whistle, Laffy says. And he's coming home from his expedition. He's coming on back, and it's a big deal. So there's a big crowd. We see the. There is a brief scene there in the shop where Reg is in there like sweeping or something, and some guy comes in and he's asking for a thing, and Reg just like without even thinking about it just goes boom and grabs it with his extendo arm off the shelf, and they're like, and nobody sees it, but Aunt Laffy's like, whoa, you're really fast, huh? So then we cut to the Habbo coming back from his expedition. Apparently, his big like gondola thing like raises up. Him and a bunch of other people come out, and he's holding something. And it's like a little, it's some kind of, it looks like a little box, and on top of it,
they're not very clear about how high and low those gondolas go too.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm curious.
We would assume fairly deep. He has a black whistle, the one that he came off of.
Yeah, so
or maybe it like goes down to this level, and then there's another one.
Of whistles. I don't know if it's explained yet.
They explain it right after this, but he's got this like what appears to be some kind of box, and he's got on top of it is this little white thing, and as you get a closer shot, you see that it's a big white whistle. And Rico and Reg, she pulls Reg up to the front of the crowd so they can get a good look at Habbo, whatever his name is. And they see this white whistle, and they're like, oh, what's that? What's going on? And then somebody in the crowd says, hey, I know what that's Liza. Is it Liza?
Yeah, Liza the Destroyer, I think.
The Annihilator, they call her.
Oh, the Annihilator.
Liza the Annihilator. That's her whistle. Liza the Annihilator. Whoa, no way. She was like the best. And we find out, that's Rico's mom. So we can assume that since her whistle's gone, she is indeed dead. I mean, we assume that already, but we find out then it goes into a bit where you see like this guy putting on a puppet show for a bunch of kids, and he explains the different levels of whistles. Mm-hmm. Do you want to name them off, Roger?
We got the red whistle.
Who are the apprentices?
Yep. Is it blue whistle next?
Blue whistle, who are proficient cave raiders.
I can't remember if black is next or if there's one.
They call it black. Moon whistle, which is what the director is. Yeah, it's a purple whistle, and the director is a moon whistle. They are the assistant instructors. Then
black whistle,
who are the experts.
Yep.
And finally,
the white whistle,
who are the masters. Nobody dives deeper than them.
Yep.
And we find out, I think a little bit after this, that at a certain point when you're a white whistle, at a certain point you end up going crazy deep, down to level 6, which is often called your final dive, I think they call it.
Yep.
It's like, hey, we know we're probably not coming back, but we're going for it. And they do go for it. Apparently Rico went, Rico's mom went 10 years ago, when Rico, we find out, was 2 years old. So we know she's 12. The leader talks to her for a little bit, because leader was actually her apprentice, Liza the Annihilator's apprentice. And
he doesn't have very nice things to say about her right off the bat.
Oh no, she apparently was a heavy drinker, a hardy fighter, and you couldn't really trust anything she said. She was pretty wild, it sounds like. I want to party with Liza. Yeah, that sounds like a good freaking time.
You want to get annihilated with her, dude.
Hell yeah.
You want to raid your cave, man.
All right, that's a little far. But yeah, she seems like super rad. She apparently was 10 years ago was her final dive. 2 years before that, she actually. Oh, he mentioned that we see Rico always wearing these glasses. They're not actually corrective lenses. Her eyes are messed up, or like she doesn't have perfect vision, but only because they're just these crystals. They're not actually lenses at all, like in the sense that we have curved lenses that adjust your vision. They're just literally flat bits of crystal that help her see things without hurting her eyes, because we find out she was literally, dun dun dun, made in Abyss. She was born down there. She was born in the Abyss 12 years ago.
Think that her eyes have something to do with the curse of the Abyss.
That she apparently had some of that sickness. Of course, her very first question is, does that mean I'm resistant against it?
Yep.
Because she wants to go down there, man.
Nope. She wants to go all the way down.
Particularly later. But so we find out that what happened is 10 years ago was Liza's last dive. 2 years before that, she was on a dive. Torka, who was a black whistle, was Rico's father, who I believe during that dive when Rico ended up being born, died, I think they mentioned.
Yeah.
But she was down there. She was pregnant when she went on that dive. She was down there for more than 9 months, down there 10 months, I believe. And Yeah, it was a 10-month expedition. So obviously, if she was pregnant when she went down, that baby coming out. And the baby did come out. She had a baby in the abyss, and they had a special relic that they had found, a very, very rare one apparently.
Yeah,
that
a bell.
It was like a big bell that they put her in because it was it was like an egg thing, wasn't it?
Oh yes,
the bell's what she was looking for.
Yeah, the bell's
she was
what
looking for the bell. What she had was this big, crazy egg-looking thing that they put her in because
it was very strange.
Yeah, anything that's inside there isn't affected by the curse while it's there. Mm-hmm. So that's what they did. She was born. They kept her in this big egg thing to keep her from getting hurt or whatever. I don't know. They had to like put a bird in there or a monkey and test it. I don't know. It's weird. We took a dog down. This is little Leica. We took her down, brought her back up, and she fell over immediately. Well, put the next one in the egg. Oh, he's fine. Hey, all right.
Yeah.
And that's how they did it. Animal testing. But yeah, they end up keeping little baby Rico alive. They bring her back up. It's apparently very rough going though, because one, Liza, we find out, didn't find that bell.
Yep.
She also lost pretty much her entire team. Torka, her Black Whistle husband, boyfriend, we don't know if they were married, but he died as well. Pretty much the whole team died except for one other person who helped her get that relic with Rico inside of it back to the surface. Mm-hmm. She gave up everything she had to make sure that Rico lived. And then 2 years later, maybe out of guilt, it's not really explained, or maybe out of some duty to her fallen comrades, she went back down for her final dive and she did not come back.
Nope, she has not come back at all. Now, it's kind of left a little open, too, because something comes with the whistle. There is a document as well. Mm-hmm.
But we don't get to see it yet.
Yeah, not yet.
We only know that there was a letter, and Rico says, well, it was a letter from my mom. And Habbo's explaining this to her back at the orphanage, I believe. And he says, well, yeah, for all intents and purposes, it's a letter from your mom. And she ends up getting to... I did write down Liza was kind of a bad mom, sounds like. Yeah. But apparently a very good one, that she gave up everything to make sure her child survived. But she ends up getting to see this, and she takes Reg with her to go see this letter. The next day she's going to get to see it. And she goes, and there's like a fancy building they go in. It looks like a big courthouse or something. Mm-hmm. Guy lets them in. He's like, be careful, don't touch anything. And they see all these papers strewn out with all these pictures of these beasts and different things from different levels and explanations of these levels. One thing is a picture of a humanoid figure that looks exactly like Reg.
Yeah.
With his helmet and his little cloak on.
Now Rico she's like, well, some of the technology or the mechanical working is different, but it does look like you. Mm-hmm. But you can't tell by the crude little drawing.
In the crude drawing, it looks exactly like him.
Just like him.
Apparently, she's got a very good eyes.
Yeah.
Despite her glasses, her crystal glasses. But yeah, this thing looks exactly like Reg. So something's going on in there. Was it him? Was it someone else? We don't know. We would assume someone else because she says some of the technology is different, but it looks exactly like him. And then there's one other thing, a note that is just written out in script, no pictures, no nothing. It's just a big note on a big piece of paper that says, at the netherworld's bottom, I'll be waiting.
Yep.
And Rico apparently right then says, I'm going.
This is for me. Yeah.
This is for me. I'm going all the way down, baby. And then we get a sweet little closing theme, and it's super cute.
Yep.
Episode 3.
You got a little hint there at the end of that one that maybe she is still alive. Now, you don't know if that's a full note or if there's any more to it, what's going on with it. But you do. Rico takes it like it's gospel. Like, she's down there alive. She's going to find her.
Yeah. She's Rico, if you haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah.
Rico, if you haven't figured it out, is very impulsive and very curious about everything that has to do with this pit. She never wants to be away from Reg because he's so cool. He's so interesting. This is something that came out of the pit, or so she's so certain, and definitely appears to be so. She must know more about him. She must know. She wants to get down there and find her mom. She's so sure that her mom's down there now with this note. She absolutely wants to know everything, and she's also incredibly impulsive and doesn't seem to think a whole lot before she makes a decision, and when she makes that decision, she sticks to it. She's a very fun character is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I
love it. So episode 3,
Departure,
which starts with all all the kids back at the orphanage, all the main kids we met, and Rico, little sticky fingers Rico, straight up snatched that note. Don't touch anything. You're not supposed to touch anything. No, she straight up snatched it. It's for her.
You think they would have better security on stuff
You'd
like
think.
that, too.
And she goes as far as to say, "Oh no, it's for me. It's a note for me. It's mine.
Yeah, it's my note. My mom wrote it for me.
My mom wrote it for me. I'm so sure." Like, it's really, she just straight up snatched it. I wrote down these damn kids because they get in each other's face. She's like saying, "Oh no, I'm going to go. I'm going to go down. I'm going to go and explore and I'm going to find my mom. My mom's down there and I know it." And of course, Nat, trying to be the voice of reason, I mean, he tells her, "Look, you know you can't do that. You can't just leave. She's definitely dead."
Mm-hmm.
Like,
being real with
and
her.
he's being real. I mean, he's right. In all likelihood, she's gone, man. I think it's actually a bit after this that they actually talk about that. Let's see. I got so many notes, but they actually when Shiggy is explaining, like, well, the farther down deep you go, then you're gonna die when you come back, etc., etc. She went down 6th level. If she went any further than that, she's almost certainly already gone.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's pretty rough, man. They get all in each other's face. They're screaming and crying. It's really really rough.
Rico is very upset about it.
About that statement. And then
through the talk of her going down, Reg says, "Hey, I'm going to go with you."
Yeah.
Because now I'm curious, and also I might have come from there, and I want to know more about me as well.
Yeah, a little bit later.
Plus, I can protect you.
A little bit later, he starts getting a little existential. Like, he doesn't really remember anything. He wants to know who he is and why he's here and why did he come up here, and if he's from there, why did he, etc., etc. We get a few shots of them checking out the notes that Liza had left. She talks about a 7-tailed scorpion in the 5th layer sea of corpses. This giant, I think she called it I don't remember, an emperor, like
scorpion.
Well, she called that one. She called that one some kind of scorpion thing. But there was another thing. It was like a big turtle. I think.
An emperor like shell or something.
Something like that. And she mentions its shell being resistant to iron rain. There's iron rain. I want to get down there and see that crap. That sounds awesome. We then see that bit where we had the thing that looked
Emperor
an awful lot.
Shell. That sounds right.
Something like that. But we see that bit where she talks about that clip where we see the picture of the thing that looks an awful lot like Reg, and she says some kind of humanoid thing. She saw it just looking at her, and it didn't approach, it didn't attack, it just looked at her. There's also mention of other foreign raiders coming from other lands who she was dealing with. That's one of the reasons she was down there. She was so good at clearing these guys out and fighting them and getting rid of them. And she says it doesn't appear to be a foreign raider. She doesn't know what it is. She also says it doesn't appear to be a hollow, which that's where we get that losing humanity. Like, what's going on there? Yeah. Is that what the hollows are?
Is this Dark Souls now? What is going on?
It's absolutely Dark Souls, baby. But yeah, she's very confused about it, but she doesn't say anything more really. Just that she doesn't know what it is, but it's staring at her, and she wrote that down and drew the picture. So then we see now Reg no longer wearing the little bell he has to when he first showed up.
He's got himself a little red whistle. He's been taking them lessons.
Oh, yeah. And he goes on his first little cave raid down in the very, top the top reaches of the first level is where
or whatever.
Like, they don't go more than 400 meters down. They are kids, but this is how we find out the orphanage stays afloat, is that they send the kids out. You got to work for that living. You got to work for your home. And they find stuff, even if it's just small stuff near the surface. They find it. They manage to sell it because Nat even says when Reg starts finding all these weird squishy things, he says, well, is it junk? If it's junk, can I keep it? And he says, no, you can't keep anything. Even junk like that is going to sell for a lot overseas. Someone's going to want it.
Yeah.
That's how they do it. It's basically like antique shopping.
Like these little squishy, like stress animals or something.
Yeah, and he finds several of them in the same spot. He also finds another one of those skeletons in a praying position.
Yeah, that's when we learn about the 2,000. They've been there for 2,000 years, and all of them are praying.
Yeah, they're all found in these positions where they're laying there praying, and they're usually like, in very confined little caves, or like maybe under something, like they were entombed there or something. It's really odd, and kind of creepy.
Yeah,
like, it's pretty freaky deaky. But yeah, Nat tries to freak out Reg with a little ghost story about kids dying on their birthdays.
Yeah, if they look in the mirror.
They look in the mirror, they'll see their necks twisted, and then they inevitably die on that day. Yep. Maybe in different ways, but they all die on the birthday. It's really messed up. And he laughs and says, "Look at this robot boy getting all sweating because he's so scared." And I'm like, "Does he sweat? The robot sweats? This is interesting. Thanks, Nat, you little jackass."
So the Reg has very real emotions and feelings.
Yeah, he clearly has. Yeah. I mean,
he is sentient.
He's certainly sentient. Absolutely, he has feelings. He has emotions. He apparently sweats. He's got that wiener. We don't really fully know what's going on with him. I think in a later episode he mentions he has to go pee, so he does pee. Yeah. Like he's got bodily function stuff, and I'm like, well, is he a robot? Was he something else? Was he turned into a robot? Yeah, boy, like what's really going on here?
To the final level.
Maybe if you go down far enough, you get squishy, weird skin and cool metal arms that are resistant to drills and fire. Who knows? Maybe we will.
That regular old weenie.
You get that wiener. You can't mess with the wiener. But yeah, it's really interesting stuff that we may or may not get answers to eventually. So then a little more exposition. These first 3 episodes, man, a lot of exposition. We get Shiggy telling us about the levels of the abyss. Mm-hmm. First level, the edge of the abyss. So this is where we see, like, that's where they spend most of their time. It goes down how many? Like 1,000, 1,400 meters, 1,300 meters, something like that.
I don't have the exact.
Yeah, I don't either. But, I just have the names and the names of the levels.
It's the first level. It's the one that the kids are allowed to.
Yeah, just not that far down, but they can go there. Yeah. The further down you go, the more like wildlife and stuff you're going to encounter. So you don't want to go too deep if you're a small child armed with a little more than a red whistle.
The first level, even then you can get sick. You see, was it Nat or was it Shiggy? He's in that area and he vomits. I think it's Nat.
Oh yeah. Nat drops his cookies when they're coming back, when him and Reg are coming back from their little expedition.
He's just straight honks.
He's just straight up honks, dude. Meanwhile, Reg is completely unaffected, as one would assume.
Yeah, he's trucking.
Yeah, he's just down. He's just, all right, see ya. No, he helps him get back up there. It's a cute scene. When you see that dude straight up honk one. Oh, this is actually right before right before they start talking about the levels of the abyss is where we get just a nasty scene where they're talking about this is where Reg says that he's absolutely going to go with Rico down to the thing, and Rico she didn't want to ask him. She starts crying and she hugs him. "Oh, I didn't want to ask you." Like, she didn't want to trouble him with that, but she really did want him to go with her, particularly since he's, so cool and so strong. And when she comes away from this hug, there's a huge snot drip coming off his hair.
Yeah, he's got
from her nose into his hair.
And they leave that boogie connected for a good few scenes.
For like 9 lines of dialogue. It's just hanging there.
Yeah, they go all in on that boogie, dude.
Ooh, they go deep on that boogie, bro. It's pretty gross.
I loved it though.
I just wrote down gross, but then eventually it does come off, and Shiggy is going over the levels of the abyss. So first level is the edge of the abyss. Second is the forest of temptation. There's apparently tempting. It sounds really rad. There's a scene like during the opening that I guess shows a bit of the forest of temptation. Yep. You see these upside down trees, and I remember seeing that and thinking, oh, this seems like some Roger shit.
That seems to get wonky.
Roger seems like he'd be into some Hollow Earth theory. This seems like something he'd be down with. Some upside down trees.
You know it.
Oh god, this guy.
Later on, they got waterfalls that flow up.
Hell yeah. Third level is the Great Fault, which is just this huge, like, sheer cliff that just goes straight down. Wow. Oh man, my fault. Hey, it was great. Your fault. Fourth is the Goblet of Giants, but they don't really describe very much, but we just know it's called the Goblet of Giants. Fifth is the Sea of Corpses. And sixth, the Capital of the Unreturned, which one can assume being the 6th level and knowing that's as far as anyone's going, coming back and dying.
I think Black Whistles can only go to level 5.
Yeah, Black Whistles don't go past level 5. 6th is where the White Whistles go for their final dive. That's the end of it.
Yeah.
That's when they know they're probably not coming back, but they're getting something something out of it.
I can't wait to see these places. Too.
I really want
I'm
to.
dying to see them.
Like this is a good show. It's getting you really amped for stuff that you know is in all likelihood coming. But man, I don't really want to see it. So yeah, I think this is where we have the scene with because like before, I think it was just Nat saying he's against her leaving. And then this one, after Shiggy explains the 6th level, where the final dive or whatever, that's where you go when you're definitely not coming back. Mm-hmm. This is where Nat gets all up in Rico's face saying, no, you can't go. I mean, you heard him. If you go to the 6th level, you don't come back. Your mom's dead. And he's trying to be reasonable. He's trying so hard to be reasonable, but he definitely just comes off like an asshole. Like he's just being hurtful to her, even though he's trying so hard to convince her, no, please don't go.
He's trying to protect his friend.
He's trying to protect his friend. He's trying to be a good guy.
They even mentioned too, if you go down to the 2nd level, at that point they will not search for you. They consider it suicide.
A red whistle or a below, or like just a normal person who has no training. If you go to 2nd level, you're not. No one's looking for you, man.
Yeah,
you are. It's
too
considered
dangerous.
suicide.
At that point, you are a risk to other people to go.
It's too risky to go for you. So see you, dude. So yeah, it's pretty rough. So then the whole scene here is that Rico and Reg are saying they're gonna leave like that night or early the next morning or whatever. So they're all getting ready to sneak out, and they do sneak out. As they're sneaking out, Reg goes into the orphanage.
Do something real
quick. He goes to try and find Nat because he wants to, tell him bye. He says bye to Kiwi, the little baby. He gets stopped by Leader.
Oh, before he tells Kiwi bye though,
he tells him
it's
Kiwi
almost
mentions
his birthday.
It's his birthday the next day.
Yeah.
And Reg's like, hey, don't look in any mirrors, man.
Yeah, whatever you do not look in any mirrors.
On the morning of your birthday, he's like, why not? It's like, just don't, man.
Just trust me.
Okay.
Yeah. I loved it.
Oh my god.
It was a good little bit of connection from something you thought wasn't going to come back.
It was a really cute scene. So then Reg gets stopped by Leader, who is patrolling as he always does, he says. And Reg's like, I had to go to the bathroom. All right. Well, where's Rico? I don't see her anywhere. And he's like, she had to go to the bathroom too. She had to poop. And he's like, oh, really? And he's like, she has the runs. great cover, Reg. I love this kid.
And then he's like, he tells him to go monitor the situation.
It's really great. So yeah, he manages to sneak out. He meets up with Shiggy and Rico. Shiggy apparently just planning to see them off. He's not going, but he just wants to make sure they get where they're going safely, at least. So as they're traveling, they mention, no, we're not going through the main gate because that's going to be too heavily guarded. But apparently there's a spot in the slums where you can get down there, because the slums, while not home to anyone who's like particularly trained, they are rag pickers, as we said. So they have their little spots where they'll go down, but it seems pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
And as they're getting ready to go there, they stop and we see this little figure come out, also wearing a cloak. This cloak has like these crazy flops coming off it that look like bunny ears. It's super cute. And Rico's just immediately like, Nat. And he pulls this thing and he's like, yeah, it's Nat. And he's clearly, not comfortable with what's happening. He doesn't want her to go because he's so sure that she's going to die. It's going to be terrible. But he says he wanted to apologize. And Rico, still with this stern look on her face, says, I forgive you. Just immediate forgiveness. She didn't want to. She says she didn't want to
leave it open like that.
She wanted to have this talk, and she's really glad that he's there, and it's just adorable. She's like so quick to forgive, and it's really great.
Yeah, and you really get a sense of like Nat at this point. Like he definitely has strong feelings for his friends, and
clearly
Rico,
so.
it seems,
and he's so afraid for them, but he knows that this is what she wants, and he knows he can't stop her.
Yep, she's gonna do it one way or another.
Yeah, it's This show's gonna make me cry. So then they head on through the slums. Nat gives a little backstory. He's actually from the slums. He was originally there. He came with his sister. His sister died, and etc. etc. And Reg realizes, oh, he straight up gave me his backstory. Good God! Like it's a pretty interesting moment. Like you see like the level of connection these kids have.
Yep. It's
really great, man. This show's doing a lot of really good character development, and I'm feeling it, man. I like it a lot. Nat still has this goofy bunny hat on when they say their goodbyes, and everybody's tearing up a little bit. And Nat seems like he wants to say something to her, like he wants to try and stop Rico from leaving again, but then we see Rico and she says it's okay, and you see her and she's got more tears in her eyes than he does.
Yeah.
She's clearly very upset about leaving too, but she feels like it's something she has to do. And she says to him that it's okay because no matter where we go, we have the abyss. We're connected by the abyss. We'll always have the abyss, Nat. It's really interesting. And he says, well, you're at it again. And she's like, yep, I'm at it again. And I'm like, back at it again at the big pit.
And this episode has one of those really great outro scenes.
Yeah, where it just the credits start rolling as they're saying these lines and stuff. Again, the show like the production values are great. It's very well done. The only word I have for it is cinematic. It feels like you're watching a movie.
Cool.
It's very cool. It's Rico says several times sugoi. It's awesome. It's so good. It's super cute, man. I'm really loving this. And before they leave, Reg finds in his pocket or in the pocket of his bag or something, he finds this little box and it's got a note in it, and he's like, "What?" It's a secret note apparently that he's not sure how it got there, but he pops it back into his bag. Rico grabs onto him. They jump off this little pier, like right as some people who live in the slums are waking up, like, these damn brats, they won't shut up. And you just see, it's a really cool scene where you just see his arm. Yeah, you see this extendo hand hanging onto this little rail. This little railing on the end of this pier that's just, you find out they mentioned earlier that the slums are like, they kept building onto it and they extend very far over the abyss. Like one of these houses fall, a lot of people are just falling in there. But there's this little pier kind of thing with this railing on it that they're all standing on when they have these tearful goodbyes. And the last thing you see of them is Reg's hand hanging onto that railing. He jumps backward, Rico hanging onto him holding onto her, and they just fly down. And you see that the cord from his arm just kind of waving as they disappear from sight, and you only see blackness, and then it just ping pulls tight. And then the hand lets go and it zips down and it's gone. There's a little wave and that hand's gone, and that's the last you see of him.
I loved it.
It's a really great ending. That was a really cool scene. Yeah. It was really, really cool. And then it's on to episode 4.
The Edge of the Abyss.
The Edge of
As
the
we
Abyss.
know, is the first layer.
It is indeed. So this one starts with a pretty great scene that you mentioned earlier where Reg is sleeping, Rico is sleeping, kind of like laying against him, and he doesn't seem to have his arms because you find out, they're strewn about, like wrapped around them like this mesh of his own arms that apparently a security measure, because she's like, what's going on? And when she wakes up and she touches one of the cords, and Reg immediately, who's here? Get away. Like it was he's his own alarm system. It's a super cool scene. Like this, I wrote down Reg is a resourceful little robot.
Yeah.
Like he's really awesome. Cool, man. He's super awesome. I love him. I love these characters. I love all of them. I just want to give them all a hug. So this one, there's finally a slightly less exposition. We just kind of get the story, and it's pretty great. They're going through this area. They kind of talk for a little bit. They see, they look up and see that they're already so far down. She sees this marker that's like marking 300 or 400 meters, and like they're already so far past that. Mm-hmm. It's really neat.
The furthest she's ever been.
Mm-hmm. And we get an anime tummy grumble. Hungies. And Reg ends up like just walking on the bottom of this little river area and grabbing a couple of I think they were called demon fish or devilfish. Yeah, demon fish. And we get Riko's recipe for her demon fish stew, her special stew that she makes, and she chops them up. She saves the innards for like smokes them, like jerky, and then the actual meat of the fish, throw it in a pot, boil some water, throw a little of this, some kind of spice. I forget what she called it.
Some seasonings with her.
Yeah, some cool seasonings. She had a name for them. I don't remember what it was. It looked like salt. Yeah. And ta-da! And Reg's just like, this looks. What I forget the word he says, but it does not look good to him. It seems very bad.
Yeah.
And he takes a sip and he's like, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And he just downs it, man. It's apparently
better
very
than her
good.
rice balls is what he said.
Her rice bombs. Her Rico bombs, she calls them.
Yeah.
Which were earlier in the show. These massive rice balls. You know, usually you see a rice ball in an anime. It's like a cute little white triangle with a little bit of little black square, the seaweed square that's holding it, that you hold on to. These suckers she were making were these giant, like...
they just have the little black...
These huge soccer
like a
balls.
Soccer ball, yeah.
With like covered in the black thing. It was wild, man. It's pretty great. But yeah, she...
You ever had a rice ball before?
I have not.
With the little...
I have not.
Me either, man.
I feel like that's not a thing you usually see around here.
It's not, but I wish we could find them. I've had a lot of cool food that they mention in anime that's kind of hard to find.
Oh, what a weeb. Anyway.
I had some melon bread before. That was good.
Sure. Anyway,
Sure.
So they go on from there. There's a bit after they've eaten, they're packing up, and Riko's holding her star compass again.
Dubious. He says it looks dubious, I think.
Something like that.
Maybe not. I feel like it is dubious though.
We'll look it up later. But yeah, they're hanging out, they're getting ready to leave, and she has her star compass out. She's moving it around, and like Reg notes that no matter how hard you shake it or where you move it, it always points down. She's like, oh, let me see. And she's like shaking it real hard, and she ends up dropping it. It goes into the river. They chase after it. Reg tries to grab it with his metal extendo arm. Can't grab it. And it goes over a waterfall and it gone. And she gives she says something like everything that's taken from the abyss will someday be returned or something like that, which is apparently a quote that someone told her. I can't remember who. It might have been Habbo or Leader, but somebody told her that. It's just a little scene where she just loses that star compass. Maybe she'll find it again. Maybe that'll pay off, right? Mm-hmm. We'll find out.
I don't know.
But
could be gone.
Yeah, man. At this point, Reg pulls out that little secret note that he had and shows her. It's copies of all of Liza's notes and stuff with all the pictures and notes on it.
Yep.
And a little red note that just says, I'm coming after you.
I'm coming for you.
Yeah, I'm coming for you. Something like that. And they kind of speculate on it. Riko deduces that it's Leader. Leader slipped it into Reg's pocket when he bumped into him that night, and because he knew they were leaving, and now he's gonna be coming for him. Oh gosh, what's going on? So they decide we got to take off. We got to move. We can't get caught.
All right. Well, I'm not looking for this anymore. I was trying to find the scene where she's cooking.
Did you see some spoilers, bro?
On YouTube. I not necessarily spoilers. Kind of spoilers, but not. I'm not gonna say anything. It was just enough to where I was like, "Whoa!"
All right. Well,
it was more of an image than it was, which I guess is a spoiler still. So I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm just
bringing that up.
I'm just gonna say that I saw a little too much. Don't go looking for a scene in this or of this anime on YouTube unless you finished it.
All right. Well,
do you have any guesses what I saw?
I don't want to guess.
You don't want to guess.
I want to go in blind.
You don't want to know.
And now I'm just gonna be sitting here thinking about it forever. Thanks for that one.
Now
you're welcome, everybody. You're welcome for that.
I'm prepared, dude. My butthole is clenched.
Oh Jesus, dude! You gonna break a ruler off in there?
Yeah. Ain't nobody raiding this cave.
Jesus Christ! Can we stop talking about butts?
I have a feeling that the anime is not going to let it go either. So.
Well, I mean, we get one more wiener reference in this episode, so let's get to it.
Yep.
As they're taking off, they get attacked by a silk fang, which is this wild-looking spider monster thing.
It's a big old spider.
Rico, after they escape it, mentions, "Oh, we're nearing level 2," but Reg sees someone's following them. Someone's up there, and they end up like taking off. And whoever this person is, they think
fashion, the end fashion. All you can see is a little flash.
All right, here's a reference no one will get. It's like the Glimmer Man, because all you see is a glimmer, and then he's there.
Yep.
No one gets that one. That's a really, really bad. Who's the guy with the ponytail? The action guy.
Steven Seagal.
It's a really bad Steven Seagal movie that my mom loves. Anyway, moving on. I didn't need to bring that up. This ain't the Steven Seagal podcast. Although, if anyone out there wants to start one, hit me up.
Oh, yeah, you got some Steven Seagal knowledge?
I got some Steven Seagals.
Any and Popo?
I mean, he had that show. Anyway, this is not the Steven Seagal show podcast. They end up getting tracked down by who may as well be Steven Seagal. It's Uncle Habbo, who Reg actually calls Hablog.
Is extremely fast.
Extremely fast, despite being a fairly portly... He looks like a mountain climber from Pokemon. Like, that's exactly what he looks like.
He looks like, he looks like a mountain climber from Pokemon. That's perfect.
It's exactly what he looks like.
He looks very big and jolly, and he's bearded and fun, much like myself. He doesn't look like he diddles kids.
All right, see, we could stop bringing that. We could have cut all that out, but
we
now it has to stay in.
But now it's staying in.
Now it has to stay in,
It was
Roger.
already decided to stay in. I'm not making that many cuts.
You're a monster.
I'm making sure the audio is good, and I'm throwing us up.
All right, I'll edit this episode.
Yeah.
Hey, fuck you, man. I know how to work Audacity. Anyway.
I believe you, dude. But this is not Audacity. Okay, this is Audition.
All right. They're not paying us. Until they start. You know what? Audition, fuck you. Until you start paying us, I'm not saying the name of your shit anymore. As far as I'm concerned, this is Audacity. Yeah, that's what I use.
Let's get a sponsorship going here.
You know what? Nike, fuck your shit. We're all about Reebok until you start paying us. I'm going for the big sponsors, damn it. McDonald's, you're on notice. It's all Carl's Jr. in this house. All right. Anyway.
I had Five Guys today.
Did you like it?
Yeah, man, it was good. The fries.
Did you get did you get just the fries? Or you get like a veggie burger?
They have like a veggie burger, but essentially it's just every vegetable they have sautéed with cheese and thrown on 2 buns.
That's real nice. They have some good veggies. I did have some Carl's Jr. I did have some Carl's Jr. a few nights ago. They're doing it right over there at Carl's Jr. Especially if you go late at night. That's when the cool manager works. Hey, this isn't the fast food podcast. Can we cut that out?
No. Staying.
Right. This is why our episodes are 2 hours long, you dick. All right. So, Uncle Habbo, who Red calls Hablog, is the one who ended up following him. He stops him. He snatches little Reg up. He's like, so you're the guy. They have a name for him that like he's a supreme relic.
Supreme relic.
It's like all something. I don't remember, but they have a name for that they call him. That's like it's the name for a supreme like super rare relic. And Hablog, whatever his name is, snatches him up. And he's like, so this is the guy, huh? This is the little relic. Wow, he's a little robot boy. And he says, it's all mechanical, huh? Here comes that wiener reference. And he, as he's holding him up in one arm, pulls his shorts open with the other and says, nothing mechanical about those balls of yours. I'm like, Jesus Christ, Habbo!
My weenie senses are tingling.
Why does this keep happening? Why does everyone care so? That's 3 out of 4. 75% of the episodes of this show mention this robot kid's wiener. Like, why does this keep happening? I don't know where this show's going. I hope there's less wieners there.
You sure?
Yes. It feels. I mean, they're children, for God's sake. It's weird.
It is weird. It is a little strange that they go all out on the penis jokes here.
I mean, they're kids. It's not
for the one time.
It's not like when we were kids, we weren't like checking out each other's johnnies and weenies. But I mean, that's shit that happens as kids. You play doctor and whatnot, like when you're little bitty. But also, I do feel weird seeing it in a show. I don't know. It's odd.
Wait, what were you doing as a kid?
Well, you never played doctor.
Not like, show me your weenie, doctor. No.
I'm not the weird one here, Roger.
Okay, buddy.
All right, we're going to talk. No,
I'll take him out.
No, we're having this out. Because you made me feel... I said no jizz talk before. Right. It's happening. You made me feel weird about knowing what jizz smells like. Let me ask you this, Roger. Let me quiz you real quick. Hey, Roger, do you know what poop smells like? That's bullshit. You never took a shit and smelled it. Of
No,
course
why
you
would
can.
I do
You
some
can
sick
smell
shit
your
like
own
that?
shit. You can smell your shit when you
I've
take
never
a shit.
like dipped a finger in it. Though,
I'm not
to
saying
whip
you dipped
it.
a finger in. I'm saying you took a dump, but before you flushed, you were like, man, that stinks. That definitely has happened to you. I'm not saying you went smearing on your face. And when I jizz, it's sitting there and I can smell it.
Oh my
I'm saying,
God, dude.
obviously, now there are two explanations for why you wouldn't know.
Wait, why is it?
Stop. There are two explanations for why you wouldn't know what jizz smells like. One, you're the only person on earth whose jizz doesn't have scent. Or two, you're not jizzing enough. End of discussion.
Oh no,
Let's
we're
move
not
on.
done this discussion.
No, we're done. with this discussion.
I want to know why your jizz is just sitting there.
It's not just sitting there. I'm saying like
You have no disposal for that jizz.
you
just let
dispose
it.
of the jizz, but I mean,
You just
okay,
let it go wherever. Like we'll wipe that up in a minute.
No, you do your business. You clean it up and you get rid of it.
You gotta remember, dude. I'm gonna give you a life lesson because it sounds like you need to, dude. You need to hit the 3 S's.
We talked way too much about
Shit,
jizz.
shower, and chowsturbate.
I feel like all this needs to be cut out.
No, let's keep going.
No one listened to this episode. Just turn it off.
This episode about the kids
Fuck you
and the weenies.
We are earning that explicit tag. Goddamn it.
Yeah, we are. People like us, man. We got a small, growing, good buddy universe out there.
All right. Anyway,
and they're as weird as we are.
nothing mechanical about those balls of yours. Nat and Roger's just puked his coffee back up. That was a spit take. Nat and Shiggy apparently went to Habbo, asked for help. They said they specifically said, look, you need to promise us we need to make sure they get as far as they can go. We need you to help them. And I'm like, Habbo? What is happening here? Why are you like assisting these kids in what is essentially a suicide mission? Like, holy moly. But he does it. He actually doesn't do it. They refuse to let him help them. And Rico, this is like,
which is even more dangerous.
this is like the 4th time she like apologized to someone. The way she does it is she bows really hard and slaps him with her long pigtails. And like that's how she apologized. She says, "I'm sorry, no, I don't want your help. I have to do this on my own." And he says, "You know what? That's real. You know, you're a cool kid. All right, here's some rice balls or something." He has like steamed mustard,
mustard
rolls
buns.
or something. Mustard buns.
Never had those.
Never had those either. And he basically sends them on their way. Gives them a little vial of some kind of liquid that's supposed to help with the cave curse, the sickness or whatever, the curse of the abyss, and sends them on their way. And they keep on going. He also, before they leave, mentions, look, when you get down, you're gonna get to that. I think it's the 2nd level camp or something like that. And he mentions, look, you're gonna meet someone named Ozen the Immovable. And he explains that was a friend of Liza's who actually was the one who helped carry Rico back.
Yep.
In that weird relic egg thing. And he explains, look, and Rico's like, awesome, I want to meet her. That sounds awesome. I want to meet this person. She's also a white whistle. I want to meet her. I owe her my life to some extent.
And Habbo tells her,
something's weird.
Yeah, don't think too much about her. She's a little strange. There's something off about her.
Something's going on here.
So don't get your hopes up essentially about meeting this person and then being somebody wonderful like
it's kind of a weird bit of foreshadowing. Like, I don't know what's going to happen with this Ozen person, but I'm interested. But and then as they continue and they get down to very close to the Forest of Temptation, they're about to go ahead and take that last bit and go to the 2nd level. This is when Reg kind of muses to himself, 2nd level. They said if you go to the 2nd level, it's a suicide. They're not coming for you. And he talks about how this person says this person left him a note saying they're coming after him. They assumed it was Leader. They still don't know for sure.
Yeah.
But at this point, no one's coming after you. Maybe the beast and monsters, but no one's looking anymore once you go 2nd level. And that is where they end up going. No one from above's looking for you. It's pretty great. We get another like cool little ending sequence. I mean, it's the same ending sequence from earlier, but it's super cute, and I wanted to mention it here. And we see several scenes with this little bunny person who I can't wait to meet. I say bunny kid because it definitely looks like a bunny girl, but we don't know for sure.
Yep.
I don't know.
It looks like a Viera.
It does look an awful lot like Viera. And that's episode 4. We made it to episode 4.
Yep.
And we only talked about weenies and butts and jizz a little bit. I'm really sorry, you guys.
He ain't sorry.
I am.
Don't be apologizing, dude.
I'm sad.
Nobody wants to hear your sad sack apologies. They want us to be for real. They want us all in. But, so, there are a lot of questions left open, and I
got a lot of questions about it, yeah.
It brings you really into this world.
I can't wait to watch more of it.
And I can't wait to watch more.
I'm super into it. I mean, what I've been doing anyway is we record on Friday. We put them up on Saturday.
And Sunday YouTube version comes up.
Yeah, Sunday the YouTube version goes up. I usually don't watch this show until Thursday, so it's super fresh. Yeah. I might go home and watch some more of this. This show's really
generally
cool.
I wait till Thursday too, but man, I am very intrigued.
I really want to know what's happening.
And I don't want to forget anything.
Yeah.
So I'm at a real dilemma here. And also I just caught up to the English dub on Super, which
and also you just saw a spoiler.
Not that big of a spoiler though.
Yeah, all right.
It was just an image. But, now that I'm current, because Dragon Ball, okay, it's like the one anime I can't do in subs.
Now you're caught on the English version.
Yeah,
and meanwhile, everyone who can deal with the subs is like, dude, you haven't seen the finale. It was so great.
Wait till you see Jiren.
Oh, my God. Oh, this guy. He's got that.
Yeah. Seems awesome, but, I mean, I'm out of anime there, so I'm out of Super to watch. I don't have any other series kicked up. Maybe I'll try out that Gurren Lagann.
Please do. I'm begging you. I'm gonna force you to watch it, and I'll watch Mongolian Chop Squad.
Yeah,
Beck.
very good.
I'll watch that finally.
But my whole point here is that I'm just really, really dying to kind of get back into this one.
Yeah, this one's super rad.
It feeds you so well to keep you wanting more.
They give you just enough information that you want to know what's happening next. Then on episode 4 they finally kind of stop with the exposition as much and go into straight up story.
You're
and I really want to know.
You want to
going in, baby.
Yeah. What is that chalice place? I want to see that.
The giant goblets or whatever.
Yeah,
Goblet of Giants. It all looks really cool, man. Yeah, and the art is so cool. I'm really enjoying this one so far. I can't wait to see more.
I'm all in on it, dude. So I hope everybody else watching has kind of got in onto
nice one
too, because it's really good. It's really. I'm glad that we went with this one.
Yeah, man. I'm super psyched.
The other ones I read through, I watched the first episode of this one and another one, and I had to choose between them, which I thought both were good. But this one, I'm really glad that I chose it.
Yeah, man.
I could feel a sense of intrigue from that first episode, and it just builds that so well. But
I'm super into it. I can't wait to see more. It's super good.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on. Do we have any questions?
We have one question from our buddy Clayton.
And we got some questions from the Good Buddy universe.
Let me pull it up real quick.
No guitar solo this time. All hail.
Questions.
You're going way too far now. Come on, pull up the thing.
That was a ripping solo.
That was a ripping solo.
That solo freaking ripped.
Feels like it was a little long. All right. Come on, we're already going over time. Okay. We talked a lot about jizz.
I think we're okay, buddy. I think we're doing okay. Clayton asks, what are the most overused tropes in anime, in your opinion?
There was one actually that I mentioned in here that as I mentioned, I was like, oh, that's a pretty big trope, and I don't remember what it was, but do you have any, man?
Yes. Okay, so this is very, I would say it's very nitpicky. It's very minor. It's aesthetic purely.
Mm-hmm.
But circular glasses in anime, dude. or glasses maybe the super rectangular ones too.
I think glasses in general are always the sign of you being kind of a dick.
They'll do this bullshit where they'll put little side pieces on them sometimes too.
Like the pince-nez or however you pronounce that. The glasses that just hold onto your nose. The Morpheus glasses?
Yeah.
What's up, Morpheus?
I hate them, dude. I hate them. But it's mostly like Vash the Stampede. I love Trigun. I love Vash.
I
hate those damn glasses.
I love those glasses.
And they give them
cool. They had little zigzags on the side.
Yeah. I will give them, at least they have the little earpiece that holds on to your head. But I'm sure there's a better word for the earpiece that hangs on. I'm wearing freaking glasses.
Ghost in the Shell, the anime, took it another level by giving Bato those without them even being glasses. Those are just his eyes.
Yeah, just little dimes. You got them dimes, man. But I hate those glasses, dude. I hate them. And to this day, they still get put into anime.
I gotcha. I'll say I've got two that kind of bum me out. Not really bum me out. One bums me out, and that's how if ever there's a show where like there's guy character, girl character, usually there's at least one girl character who's like super ditzy and has big boobs, and almost guaranteed she's gonna like be running to class or something, run into that guy and either land with her boobs or underpants in his face.
Yeah, on the face.
Yeah, that one really bums me out. It's pretty annoying. It's just like, well, this isn't cute or sexy. This is someone's dream and they drew it. This is what you want to happen. Yeah. That's never happened, man. Chill out, Chad. It's never going to happen. But the other one, and this one doesn't bum me out as much as it just like happens all the time in every show. It did happen in this one. It's that hungry tummy growl.
Oh, yeah.
That happens a lot. It happens a whole lot. It's often like a plot point. It happened like 3 times in freaking Recovery of an MMO Junkie.
Yep.
We keep mentioning that eventually. We're going to
do that one eventually.
It's super cute. But
so if you want to be ahead of the curve.
Yeah, man.
Very good.
It doesn't, I won't say it bums me out. It's just kind of annoying that it always happens and it's often like a plot point.
That one at least it makes sense. So.
Sure. It always
makes sense.
It's always used as a way, like it always feels like someone couldn't figure out how to go to the next scene. Mm-hmm. So instead of actually having a reason, they just go,
they're hungry.
Cut to us eating rice balls. Like that's always what ends up happening. It's not really a bummer as much as it's just, come on, man, write better. Yeah. Not that I'm like a writer. I'm not critiquing anyone.
Kind of has a purpose as to why that is, though.
Well, yeah. I like that show a lot despite it, so obviously it's not that big a deal for me.
Yeah, there are plenty of animes like Trigun that I like. The stupid glasses.
I
can look
What gets
past
me is that like that's how you tell someone's great. What gets me is when they have the glasses and they do that like middle finger push the glasses
and it does
up.
a lens flare across it.
Yeah,
like
they get the
flash.
lens flare. You get that for a brief second. Everyone with glasses looks like freaking Shinji's dad. Like,
yeah,
that's the worst.
Oh, dude, he's got like transitional lenses and stuff. He just looks like the ultimate dude.
Getting to know about Shinji. Oh god. Anyway, yeah, I think those are my tropes.
Yeah. So guys, if you want to send us in questions, we highly recommend that you do. It'd be really fun for us to answer them all. We will answer them. If you even have comments, we'll answer it. You can send that off to the Good Buddies Anime Podcast at gmail.com.
Nope.
Oh, sorry.
Nope, you fucked it up.
I did.
Say it again. Say it right. Do it good. Come on.
You can send it to the Good Buddies Anime Pod at gmail.com. I should have spelled it, man.
You should have spelled it.
I did it.
Spell it now.
THEGOOD
Don't really.
BUDDIESANIMEPOD at symbol GMAIL.
You don't have to spell Gmail, you dick. .com.
Period. COM.
You blow. Oh my god. All right. Well, good episode. I feel like we wrapped it up pretty good. It was a fun time. Yeah. I'm saying it right now. No jizz talk next episode. Let's go.
You sure?
I'm making a commitment.
Is it gonna happen?
If you bring it up, that's on you. But I'm saying it right now. All right. I think we're good.
All right, Good Buddies Universe. Be sure to send us in some questions, some comments. We'll read them off. Thanks for sticking out with us for a whole new series. We're 2 series in now, and it's only gonna get deeper and darker from here.
Talking about his butt. All right.
Oh, in that cave.
Love you guys.
See you guys later. Take it easy.
Signing off. Oh, wait. One more thing. I do want to make sure I say this. I know y'all love that theme song at the beginning of the show.
Oh, yeah.
That is Paperdoll by our good buddies, Married with Sea Monsters. You can check them out on Spotify. That specific song is a single that you can only find on marriedwithseamonsters.bandcamp.com. Check it out.
And it's a free download.
It's a free download. They're not really a band anymore, apparently, but they got a lot of good music. The backlog is great.
They all got a lot of stuff going on.
This is the best
We're all
way.
very close friends
This is
of
the
ours.
best way to be a hipster. Is this band doesn't even exist anymore? Check them the fuck out. They're so good. Anyway, slash the Mary Janes, right?
Yeah. That was the Marvel tag for them or whatever, because they did a little work for Marvel.
They did a little work for Marvel. They're that cool.
Kind of cool.
They had like there was some Spider-Man mobile game that went out that one of their songs was in. You gotta face it, tiger, face it, tiger.
Yeah, face it, tiger.
Oh, it's so good. Anyway, check them out. Look them up. It's amazing. Our good buddy Kat is the lead singer / guitarist, and she's amazing. It's all good. It's all so good.
Yep.
Isn't Slim in there? No, Slim's not. Slim was in Stool Boys.
Slim was
I'm
in my
tripping.
band.
I'm tripping. Check out Stool Boys. Don't really. They're fine.
Yeah. No, don't. You can hear some classic songs. Bassmaster of My Dreams. Girl in the Camo Dress. Beer Buzzards.
You're the worst. While we're at it, check out Rapid Kick Media on YouTube. All right.
Check it all out.
Check it all out, man.
If you are viewing this on YouTube and you made it this long, subscribe.
We love you so much. I'm sorry for all the
If you're
jizz
listening
talk.
to an audio spot and there's an area to give stars or review, please give us 5 stars.
I feel like
stars.
shilling for stars after we went so long and talked so much about ding dongs, butts, and jizz. I feel like this is not.
Leave us a 5-star review and say, if you like ding dongs, butts, and semen, this is the podcast for you.
Good Buddy Universe, I'm not going to ask for your stars. I'm going to fucking earn them next episode. Let's go. Brandon out.
Bye, guys.
Love you.